Hello and welcome back to Prevent-A-Thon. I am still your host, Big F Watson, and Joker is running Sonic R. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is Sonic R. Released on PC in '98. The first racing game in the Sonic series. It is a very fast run, so there's going to be a bit that I want to cover here beforehand, just so that when we get into the game, we can kind of focus on the game as it's happening. First, we're gonna play as Knuckles. We're not playing as the Blue Blur. We're gonna play as Knuckles for two reasons. One, his drift mechanic, his drifting ability is easier to control and it slides a little bit more, so it gives us a bit more room to wiggle with. I'll explain the drift mechanic once we get into the game a bit more. And two, Knuckles can still glide as he can in the original Sonic games, and that's crucial for the final track. And one of the skips we're going to try to do in that final track. But for now, we're going to get into Resort Island. And when you're ready, I've got the countdown. All right, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Good luck.
So thank you very much. So the first thing you're going to notice here is you can spin dash off of the start. And that's just going to give us a little bit more movement speed. The second thing that you're going to see is we are running in the snow. The reason we're running in the snow is because it freezes over the water on all of the tracks, which opens up things like this, where we can actually get a better turn and a better movement through the track. The third thing that you're mainly going to notice here is Knuckles seems to be running on tilt. That is by design. As I mentioned, there is a drifting mechanic in Sonic R. So as you're turning, you can hold one of the drift buttons on the shoulders to drift your turns and make them a little bit tighter. One of the fun things about the drift mechanic, it makes you go faster. For whatever reason, the drifting actually goes faster. So the main speed technique that we're going to be using here is counter drifting. And that's why you see Knuckles running sideways. It's because we are essentially holding the drift for the turn that we're making. So as that first turn in Resort Island, I'm holding the right drift into the turn. Coming out of the turn, I hold the left drift while flicking this thumbstick to the right in order to maintain momentum and movement and keeping the speed boost. Oh no, I hate when that happens. There's a wall there that sometimes gets caught. But yeah, we keep the momentum and the bonus movement speed of the drift through the straightaways. This will be the first track where we get to see the zippers, and we want to get 50 rings throughout the lap, so that we can get the longest zip that we possibly can. That's just gonna save us even more than a few seconds, comparatively speaking, to just running through as normal. Amy, don't you do it. All right. Amy and Eggman's hitbox in this game, as Tails goes the wrong way completely, they are very wide, and Eggman also has a weapon. He doesn't jump. So he has a weapon that he can use, and sometimes if he's behind you, he will shoot you. And it doesn't always bump you in the right direction. So, and Amy has a little speed boost, but Amy's hitbox is so big, she just bounces you all over the place in her car. But that is Radical City. We are already through 2 of the 5 courses here.
Knuckles be zooming.
Yes, we have.
Knuckles be zooming. And that's all, again, by design with the drift mechanic and utilizing the counter drift to go faster while you're slightly tilted. It's the only time where you can be tilted in a game and actually do better.
Man, I was going to make a hyperspeed drifter joke.
This is the track that I like the least because it can get very difficult very quickly, but this is my favorite song on this soundtrack by far. Dang it, I needed to not get any rings there. I will forever die on the hill that this is the best soundtrack of any Sonic game. And I don't care who I don't care who you are, I will fight you for that. One of the mechanics of the zippers that I did not mention, that is kind of crucial in this track at least, it will hold and retain any movement and turning that you do going out of the drift, or going out of the zip. So it will make it so that if you're holding like right and drift, it will immediately send you into a immediate right turn out of the zipper. And it can throw you off if you're not ready for that and you're not paying attention. And Regal Ruin, there's with that zipper, you want a specific number of rings to make the shortest drift that you can while getting around that wall that was there, and utilizing that turn out of the zipper to negate a lot of that corner. But we're already on to Reactive Factory. This one's one of the longest tracks on the game, but it does still go by fairly quickly. Also, another absolute banger of a soundtrack. But we do skip a lot of the course off of that jump right there. We skip the entire turn there. There's a loop and the loops are very slow. They maintain one set speed throughout the loop. So you have to either go into it with more speed than you can normally carry, or you're just kind of stuck. Oh, Tails, I don't like you, Tails. Not at all. Tails stole an electric shield. And the electric shield is one of the items you can get from the power-ups there. The little spinning emblems. And it tracks all of the rings around you. And it makes it so that in situations like that, it is very difficult. I get no rings, so I don't get a zip there. Efficiently, you don't have to worry about that. Tails doesn't get a shield in front of you and doesn't take all of your rings, because you're usually past him at that point. It's slightly RNG based, but it's actually frame based on where the emblem is turning and where you hit it. So if you do it right and time it right, you can actually hit the 20 rings every time, which is very useful in the 100% categories. Because in 100%, you do need to open up those doors that cost 50 rings in order to get the Chaos Emeralds and the Sonic coins. Alright, I'm gonna miss the skip here, I just know it.
Also, happy Pride Month to the Rainbows.
Absolutely. Happy Pride Month to my fellow Rainbows. So this is Helix skip that I'm attempting here. Lap 1, I don't normally get it, but I will get it lap 2. Oh!
Let's go!
Okay, let's go. So the reason I don't normally get it lap 1 is because it does require a lot of built-up speed, and it's hard to carry that speed out of the loop and the turns there on lap 1, because you're starting from a dead standstill, essentially, at the beginning of the lap. But lap 2 and 3, it's usually a little bit easier to hit. Also, this is one of the best songs, again, on the soundtrack. They're all amazing. But it's like, this one is like a wonderful, almost like love song, and it's just so sweet and fun to listen to.
You got it again, let's go!
Yeah, lap 2 and 3, I can usually hit that skip, and it saves about 8 seconds per lap. So it's a massive time skip. And that's just for that version of it. There is another version where you come out of the yellow pathway that's where Sonic is, or that I'm just passing over, with a full 50 ring zip, and then you bounce off the wall, carrying the speed from the zipper in order to skip. And using the zip and Helix skip, it saves you a good like 12 to 14 seconds. So it's a massive time save.
Let's go!
I assume getting it 3 out of 3 is very rare. from that hype.
At least for me. 3 out of 3 is rare for me because lap 1 is usually very difficult to hit. And just so you can tell how much time it actually saves. I was 11 seconds over my PB. That was time, by the way, once we crossed that. I'm sorry. I was 11 seconds, almost 12 seconds over my PB going into Radiant Emerald. Hitting all 3 Helix skips, I gold splitted by 8 seconds, and was only almost 3 seconds over my PB. That's how much of a time save Helix skip is. But that is Sonic R. I'll go ahead and play the credits music as we roll out. I want to thank Ozmourn for joining me for both Sonic R and Synesthete. And also thank you as well, Flotsam, for joining and hosting for both of these. I love these games to death. They're very, very wildly different games, but they both bring a lot of nostalgia and they're a lot of fun. I highly suggest jumping in with either game. The Discord for Sonic R is very popular. A lot of the runners in there are happy to help with any of the routes and any of the categories you want to run. There's multiple types of different categories. This was just the any % no out of bounds. But there's out of bounds categories that are even faster, 100% categories, and even a new game plus where you play as Supersonic through all 5 courses, which is very, very fun and a blast. But if you want to also get into Synesthete, you can obviously send me any questions you have, and I will be happy to answer them. You can find me on Twitter and ask those questions. It's at just_Joker, just_J0KERR. I'm also on Twitch. It's just Joker, so no underscore there. And I'm happy to answer any questions about Synesthete, about Sonic R, and about all of these games that I do enjoy playing. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for hitting the incentive as well and for donating to increase the difficulty on Synesthete. All of that money is going towards a fantastic cause, and it's fantastic that you all donated and wanted to be a part of that. So thank you so much.
And thank you for playing these incredibly wonderful games with these great soundtracks.